I think some of you can probably tell by now I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Now, some people list that as a strength in their character, but I've gradually come to understand that it's something I need to overcome. It's something in my life that's always caused more stress than it's alleviated, and caused more problems than offered solutions. And I've gradually, very gradually, come to realize that imperfection is not only unavoidable, but it's necessary. There was something that I read in part of a short story of Margaret Atwood's that helped me. One character says to the other that she finally came to realize that there's no end to imperfection. No matter how perfect you try to make something, how you try and try again, making it more perfect each time, there's always going to be something in it that's imperfect. There's no end to it. And gradually you have to understand that and accept it. There are rug makers in the world that are famous for these beautifully intricate patterned carpets, all made up of hand-tied knots, thousands upon thousands of hand-tied knots. And the best makers among them will leave one knot imperfectly tied after thousands of perfectly tied knots, out of respect for the fact that perfection is impossible. It's not only that imperfection is unavoidable, it's often necessary. It's the whole premise of the arts and crafts movement, or one of the basic premises of the arts and crafts movement. It happened during the separation of labor, and one thing was not made by one person anymore. Components of things were made by separate people and assembled into a finished object. And what was lost was the sense of authorship of the finished object. So one of the premises of the movement was that when you make something entirely yourself, even if there are uneven edges and seams, the seams show the hand, and the hand shows the human. The imperfection in something is often its humanity. It's something that I've recently understood is not just what you apply to creating, but to creation as a whole. There was a Stephen Hawking lecture that I listened to, where he talks about the early universe, just following the Big Bang. And he said that had hydrogen atoms been perfectly aligned, perfectly spaced from each other in the early universe, gravity never would have been able to act upon them and cause them to coalesce into gas, and that gas into stars, and the explosion of those stars would never would have permitted the building blocks of the entirety of the universe. I've gradually come to understand that imperfection is not only necessary, we're its children.